Hello and welcome to the first year experience presentation called Caution Life Change Ahead. My name is Danny Emmings. I am a student success coach at Clarion University, and this presentation is adapted from that of Bess Moody. So today we're going to talk briefly about some of the differences between the college classroom and the high school classroom, as well as go over some of the best reasons why you should go to class every day. So to start, what changes you can expect. We can talk a little bit about class size. Class size for first year students is going to range. Primarily what you might see is that you have classes that are much larger than you're used to, than you might have had in your high school. So some of those introductory courses may have 50, 75 students in them, and so that's something to really get used to and kind of adjust to. Now, on the other hand, you will also have some really great smaller classes, including for your writing classes, which would be English 110 and 111, and then also your inquiry seminars. So it's nice to have a balance of large classes and small class size, but it's just something to definitely get used to as you start your first semester as a Clarion student. The workload and rigor are going to be much more difficult maybe than you were used to in high school, as well as the depth and breadth. So when we talk about workload as a first year student in college, you should expect to do a lot more work outside of the classroom in order to prepare. So in high school, you might have been given something to read and you read it in class and then discussed it in class. Now in college, what's probably going to happen is you're going to be assigned that reading and be expected to do it outside of class so that when you get to class, you can actually do some discussion. And so again, that workload outside of the classroom is going to be much more. The rigor is going to be much more difficult, and we talk about brain sweat with rigor, so you can expect definitely for the material to be more difficult, for it to be more challenging, and also the depth and breadth kind of go with this. So in college, you can expect to go much more deeper into specific topics and to also cover more topics. So again, that's where some of that workload outside of the classroom comes into play, because you can cover more in a course because the professors are assigning you more work outside of the classroom. Speaking of professors versus teachers can be very different. Professors will not necessarily live in their classroom. So in high school, you're used to going to the classroom, and that's where your teacher would be. Professors will have separate offices, and they also have office hours. So they will teach a few classes every semester usually, and then also have up to 3 hours of office hours every week. Professors also are going to look at you as much more of a young adult and not necessarily give you those constant reminders that your high school teachers may have. So the professors definitely put more of the burden on you as the student, that it's up to you to manage your due dates and know when things are supposed to be turned in and that type of thing. With that too is grading. So you might have 5 professors in one semester, and all 5 of those professors have a different way of including grades. So some professors will include attendance in their grading or not. Some professors will include homework as part of your grade, and some will not. So really reading your syllabus, paying attention to the things that your professors do tell you about the grading scale and what is graded and not graded will be really important as you go through your first semester. And the last thing, as far as changes to expect or things that are different, you can really expect your relationship with your classmates to be different as far as relying on each other. Let's say you do have to be absent for some reason. It would be your classmates that you go to say, hey, I wasn't in class on Monday. Can you tell me what I may have missed, or may I borrow your notes? You won't necessarily go to the professor for those types of situations. So while you're in your classes, you really want to look around, see which classmates are focused, asking good questions, and start to build a relationship with them so that maybe you can meet them in the library outside of class or something to work together. So those are some changes, some differences to expect between high school and college, especially in terms of academics. We also just want to go over a few reasons to go to class. So it can be really tempting to not go to class because you're used to, again, in high school, going to class was mandatory. It was something that you had to do. In college, it can feel like something that's optional, but we have so many reasons that we want to help you remember why you should be in class. So the first is going to class and your attendance may be part of your grade. So knowing that from day one is important for each of your classes. It helps you to build good habits by going to class. So being in class can just help you have that consistency in your day, especially with dealing with time management and things. So it helps to build good habits. By being in class, you can look around at your classmates, again, see which ones are asking good questions, look like they're taking notes and that type of thing. So then you have somebody that you might be able to study with for that class. If you're in class, you can hear about changes and or additions to due dates. So you have the syllabus, but if you're not in class, you might not necessarily be there to hear if the professor has made a change, because the syllabus is always subject to change. So if you aren't there to hear an announcement or hear a reminder, then your grade could suffer. Another reason to go to class is to help you clarify concepts and see which topics are emphasized. So before class, you might again have access to a PowerPoint, the notes, that type of thing, and it's great to look over those before you go to class, but that doesn't mean you should not go to class. So if you go to class prepared like that, it just helps you to clarify concepts that you maybe didn't understand, or also to see which topics are emphasized. So if it seems like a professor is really going over one topic, you can put a nice big star in your notes and remember, okay, this is probably something that will be on the test. Another reason to go to class is to just show that you care. It can really be important to show that level of commitment to your education. If nothing else, you should always remind yourself that you are paying to be in that class by paying your tuition dollars. So hopefully if that is one thing that can motivate you, that's good. And last but not least, being in class helps you build a relationship with the professor. So again, it shows that you care, but it also gives you an opportunity to connect with that professor so that if you need help or you want to seek other opportunities, that professor might be somebody that you can really lean on to get some of that help. So overall, that's just a few of our tips on why you should go to class, as well as some of the differences that you might expect. And so we do not want you to be the student in this funny meme. And so remember the importance of going to class and knowing that high school and college are different, and you should be ready to do that. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you click on our next presentation. Thank you very much.